Oh, 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 congratulations! You did it! You've won! You are here for this, the moment that we revisit the moment that put Brian Brushwood on the map. Hello, you beautiful people. Today is day 113 of Office Hours, dedicated to you and you experiencing the experience of experience. Hello, I'm Brian Brushwood. This will make sense in a moment, or maybe it won't. I don't know. We're going to find out either way. We continue our revisit to the phenomenon that was Scam School with Scam School, episode 14, part 1, special edition, Brian's Bizarre New York Magic Show. This was the performance, man. I ain't going to lie. This is the place, the time. It's not the best show I've ever done, not by a long shot, but it did happen when the Bizarre Magic Show was very, very polished. And you won't see it this episode, but in the next one, part 2, you're going to see the best trick I ever did. And you know what? Just for funsies, I'm even going to explain to you how that one was done. Its time has come and gone, and we'll deconstruct all of that tomorrow morning. You're not going to want to miss it. But in the meantime, we got to thank everybody who showed up. And a bit of a weird start on this particular episode that we're about to see. But shouts out, go to the real ones. The ones who have earned their diamond wings. Of course, the only way to earn your diamond wings is to show up live and be in the chat, which means shouts out, congratulations go to Nicholas George 4156, Princess Judith, Not Scary Steve, Dylan Theus, the old school of the Mike Rula, Ben Tarat, Flocinaci, Che Fuego, and Taylor Latus. Nailed it. A Diamond Club. Yeah, dude. The Diamond Clubs are the elites, the real one. We'll eventually get to the origin story of the Diamond Club as well. But first, as we always do, we're going to watch the entire episode, and then we'll discuss. This was labeled when it came out. By the way, place your bets. Place your bets on how many views you think the special edition Brian's Bizarre New York Magic Show Part 1 got. Yeah, lock them in, lock them in. Was your guess? In fact, actually put them in the chat. Oh, quick reminder for everybody in the chat. If you want the lowest lag, head on over to twitch.tv/nightattack. If you want to be in the biggest room, then watch on youtube.com/monorogue or youtube.com/scamschool. Let's see. Not Scary Steve comes in at 27,000. You guys ready? Look at this. Here we go. The real answer is 6,000 views. 6,000 views. Most important performance. Put me on the map. 6,000 views. That's it. Hello, Jeff DeMazar. Thank you so much for making it. And you're just in time. We're just about to start. Look at that. Not even 27,504 views. 27,504 views. Just 6,000 views. So, okay, this one begins with a promo. At the time, Gary Vaynerchuk was coming to Revision 3 with Wine Library TV, and so we shot a bunch of promos. I think we saw one of them yesterday. This, if you're just a rando watching this, it takes a long time to get to a sense of what the heck you're seeing. So let me anchor you very clearly in time and place. This is before Revision 3 was on YouTube. This is back when Revision 3 thought they were competing with YouTube. This is back when the primary modalities for you to reach, to encounter the show were either through RSS feeds. There was a high definition feed and a low definition feed, high bit rate, low bit rate. So we were kings of the iTunes charts at the time. Or this is in the early days where BitTorrent clients like, I don't know at what point it was Azure or Azurius or Views, but during one of the BitTorrent aggregators, Revision 3 content would show up right alongside whatever it was you were trying to BitTorrent. And so right place, right time. And meanwhile, a strange artifact of that is that YouTube has no idea that this content is out there. And so let's watch it right now in its entirety. As we're watching it, you guys, of course, are going to have questions. Go ahead and type them up in the comments. and we'll address all of them afterwards. And now, here in its entirety is Special Edition, Brian's Bizarre New York Magic Show, Part 1.
With absinthe.
I got it! I know what I want to do with revision 3!
Too much.
Dude's a freak.
This episode of Scam School brought to you by Netflix. Are you guys ready to start Diggnation Live? Well, sorry, you're stuck with me. All right, guys, my name is Brian Brushwood. I host a little show on Revision 3 called Scam School. And while we're on the subject of school, we're going to start off with a little bit of a history lesson and a subject that I find people don't learn too much about. The subject, of course, is fire eating. Who yelled Sonic Boom? That kicks ass. Now, the concept of resistance to fire is one as old as history itself. As far back as the ancient Greek tragedy Medea, references are made to holding a bar of red-hot iron to prove innocence or sincerity. The first written account of a fire eater occurs in 1607 when a guy named Henry Wotton wrote of an English sailor who could eat fire as though it were candy. With that in mind, I'm going to show you guys the simplest method to extinguish a torch with one's mouth. Thank you very much. You guys, some of you are actually applauding for that. That's awesome. It is more impressive. It looks more like this. There we go. Now the first, fire is hot. That's very good. Now, the first successfully commercially viable fire-eating act went on tour during the 1680s, and it was a guy named Richardson who was renowned not only for his ability to swallow flame, but for the apparent affinity he would display for it. In fact, some people claim that his teeth were so calloused he could hold a burning torch between them, just like so. There we go. Much better. By the 1800s, we come to a time that some people call the golden age of fire eaters. This is a time when performers who had names like Yamadeva and Ching-Ling Fu, one guy who called himself Xavier Chabert, the Fire King, these individuals shifted the focus of fire eating away from the tolerance of the heat and flame and instead moved it towards the artistry and skill with which one manipulated it. There we go. Now, by the 1920s, the popularity of fire eaters had taken a nosedive. In fact, Harry Houdini called it an art over which oblivion threatens to stretch her darkening wings. This is when fire eaters were kicked out of the theaters, where in order to draw bigger crowds, they began performing increasingly dangerous stunts like the tongue transfer. Or perhaps eating twice the flame at once. It's a hell of a lot of fire. All right, here we go. Woo! And now, I'm gonna show you guys the single most difficult and the most dangerous of the fire-eating stunts. This one's called the human candle. Okay. Here we go. There we go. You guys want one more? You're like, I don't care. You're the dumbass with those sticks. A while back, I wrote this book on fire eating, and when I did, I discovered a combination of tricks that's become my favorite thing to show people. Check this out. There we go. All right, folks, you ready to start the show? Once again, my name is Brian Brushwood. I specialize in doing bizarre, unusual, and often retarded things. With that in mind, you guys see before you 9 4.5-inch 30-penny nails. You, buddy, reach forward. Choose any one of those bad boys for me. Pull it out. Hold it high above your head where everyone can see it. Using both hands, try to bend that nail. Tell me, does that nail bend at all? No, of course not. Take that nail, push it into your, not through your palm, but into it. And verify, does it collapse? Jesus. There you go. Look good? All right, excellent. I'm going to, none of that David Blaine crap. No switches here. I'm going to show you guys a feat that dates back almost 100 years, originally called the human blockhead. All right. Now, some people think this is an illusion and I'm just sliding it down the side of my face. I wish those folks were right. Now, I know you guys are a smart crowd, and some of you know this is actually going inside the maxillary sinus. Here we go. Here we go. At this point, I tell you what, we're going to have Ron Richards working the camera right now. Ron, I want you to reach forward with your hands. This is a host of iFanboy right here. Show him some love. Ron, you're going to grab just the tip of that nail. All right, there we go. Hold on tight. Don't fall over. All right, there we go. Hold on. All right, go, 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 go. And that is a souvenir for you, Ron, of today's show. Let's hear for Ron Richards, everyone. Holy cow. All right, you guys. This next thing, as far as I know, I am the only performer in the entire United States doing in a public show. But it's going to be something hard for all of you guys to see. So we're going to use the cameras, but I also need two people who are very expressive. Somebody who would be good talking into a microphone. Hey, how you doing? I'm Brian. What's your name? Daisy, let me get you to stand right over here. Daisy, have a seat right here. We got a friend for Daisy. Where's Daisy's friend? Do we have somebody else? Yeah, come on up here. Yeah, see if you can climb on up here. And I tell you what, while you're getting started, Daisy, I want you to hold this mic in your right hand, just like so. Hold out your left hand, palm up, just like this. Daisy, I need you to describe for the audience in as much detail as you possibly can what object is inside that little silver box.
No. It's like a small silver mirror.
Yeah, see, I don't like the small comment after the virginity comment, but that's all right. A small silver what?
Nail?
Right, it's about how long?
I'd say about an inch and a half.
About an inch and a half, about 2 centimeters. There we go. That's what she said, right? Yeah. Hey, buddy, I'm Brian. What's your name? Owen. Owen, your job, Owen, is to keep this flashlight pointed at the nail at all times. That way, even the folks in the back of the room can at least catch a glimmer of what's going on. Your job, from this point forward, Daisy, is to be the eyes for those folks in the back who waited too long to get here, who can't see a damn thing, and describe in detail every single thing I do, starting right now.
Lick.
That's good. You're allowed to use more than one word at a time, though. That's good. Keep going.
Okay. Touching your eye. Oh, God. Nail is starting to go into your eye. Lid down into your eye. You're touching your eye. It looks like it might be gone.
It's all the way in?
It looks, yeah.
Okay, good. There you go. Keep going. You're doing good.
Now you're smushing your eye. Ew. And now it looks like it might be coming out on the other side. And now, do I see something? Yeah. And there it is.
There we go. I like Owen's reaching for it. He's like, hey, let me try. I tell you what. Hang on there, Owen. All right, now that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Let's see if we can take this one step farther. You guys keep up the good work. Keep describing, Daisy. Here we go. Nice and loud into the mic. Here we go.
Lick.
Yep. Again with the licking. That's good. Keep going.
Right eye. The nail is going in the right eye. You're smushing your eye.
All right, keep going.
Smushing, smushing, and look. Now the left eye. The left eye. snot. Look like you might throw up. Tongue.
There we go. Let's have a huge round of applause for both of my volunteers. You guys did a fantastic job. You guys can head back to your seats. Thank you very much, Stacey. You guys did great. Thank you very much, Owen.
White people are crazy.
White people are crazy. That's Owen's verdict right there. Thank you very much. The center of his chest where you could definitely feel flesh. That's not exactly his chest you're going for. For those of you who haven't heard, something very weird is happening all over the world. Wait, what just happened? You saw something? What did you see?
Now I'll tell you what's not a scam, my new favorite company and our latest sponsor, Netflix.com. Thanks to Netflix for sponsoring this episode of Scam School. With Netflix, you can rent over 90,000 titles online, including lots of Blu-ray titles, with free shipping both ways to your home. Plans start at just $4.99, but as a Scam School fan, you could get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership by signing up today at www.netflix.com/scamschool.
Wow, that's what a fascinating artifact for all of that to be. Well, there you go. Let me bring up a little bit of that. What a moment in time. So, I guess the only way to encounter this would be that you'd have to be subscribed to it. There would be no natural organic discovery as we know it today. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see all this Revision 3 promo. You'd be aware that you're on the network because you're probably on the Revision 3 site at the time. Also, I didn't know who Gary V was, but I knew that, it was a big deal that he was having a show on the network. I did enjoy me being the one to say, dude's a freak, which I thought was pretty funny. But this, even without context, nowadays, there would be some kind of intro package to kind of set the scene, but that wasn't even possible because the production facilities were all in San Francisco. I was out on the road. I had done this show, and we knew we were going to do it, but everything was chaos. It's a miracle that we got anything out of this. For example, the audio very clearly is blown out. When we get to tomorrow's episode, you'll see that Mr. Happy Pants needed subtitles to even be understood. And I can't reiterate enough how, at the time, cutting edge all this production was. The world has changed quite a bit. Let's go through your comments. What do we got? Let's see. We all made guesses. It was 6,000. Yeah, Oak Monster was, I believe, kind of a one-off riff that Gary V would do when it came to describing the flavor profile of a wine. He would invoke the Oak Monster, and absent context, your experience was very different from everyone else's. So the way you're reacting, like, I guess Oak Monster's a thing. I have pieced together that wine is a thing. I'll piece that together. Yep, and Netflix, of course, we're watching the old promos. We may decide that we don't want to give away free ads, but also, I don't know, we're watching old ads. That's kind of brilliant. Yes, Jeff Mazar correctly points out that near the end of the Scam School run, it occurred to me that we started, to the chagrin of the audience, doing best ofs because obviously so much had changed in terms of expectations of quality and pacing that I wanted everything to remain accessible. So yes, what has gotten a lot of views is Brian's Complete Bizarre Magic Show, where we cobbled together all of the live performances. But I think that's one of the exciting things about what we're able to do now, is to see everything through the lens of how did this look in the moment, because everything reads differently. And this, of course, is the first time that anything gets close to look at me, I'm Brian Brushwood. Everything up until then has been, here's a great trick for you to be the cool guy at the bar, for you to win free drinks, for you to get the girl's phone number, for you to solve the puzzle, for you to get paid. And then this is the first time that it's about Brian. But even then, it's got that detached layer where it's more documenting that moment that Brian did that show. And I cannot overstate the importance of that show, not in terms of the performance, but in terms of who was there and the called shot that I made. In fact, I wonder if anybody has any of the full footage of this out there. I would love to track down the whole time, because I would love to forensically piece this together, because more important than the stage show, more important than the Brian has a magic show coming out party, was the called shot that led to Operation Eye Scam. I'm gonna throw up the diamond signal and say, if anybody has just footage that they shot from that would be amazing to find. Because it's very important. There are themes that get set up here that last for decades afterwards, that become the blueprint for eventually us faking an erotic fiction bestseller, a legit top bestseller. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Taylor Latus. There was a lot that made me happy about the layout on this. The only thing that we don't get from this shot is everything was so cramped, you couldn't see the view that Brian got, which was, I mean, there's 500 people. There was a bit of a violation of fire code happening, plus also actual fire. Yeah, definitely some Bart Simpson vibes. Yeah, and Dan Homesteader, Revision 3, remember, wasn't just a popular company for early YouTube. There was that brief moment that they seemed to be competing with, and I was thrilled when somebody said Sonic Boom. I didn't start wearing my hair specifically to look like Guile from Street Fighter 2, but instead it was an archetype of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of Cloud from Final Fantasy, a little bit of, there was some other character. It wasn't Prey. It was a video game before Prey that was an almost big deal. But I went in, basically the idea of kind of anime style, very vertical spikes. But the moment somebody shouted Sonic Boom, I'm like, if that's what everybody maps onto, great. And yeah, in the background, you see Johnny Savant. That's Jonathan Pritchard, who I came up with the names Johnny Savant, and he used it. Let's see. Hey, Jonathan Hazlitt. Happy Saturday to you too. Congratulations, Wago, on the Eaton Fire. Yeah, those Coleman burps are going to happen always, always, always. Yes, the nail in the eye is very, very gross. It is so visceral. So the first time I performed the nail in the eye trick was at the Electric Lounge during the band break of the Asylum Street Spankers. And there was so much preamble to it. I would read an entire passage from this book written in the 19th century, the autobiography of Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin. And then I would do all this buildup with the two people up on stage judging it and everything, because the concern is, can you see it? Now, this was the very first footage where you got to see what the people on stage saw. Up until then, I would perform it for 1,000 people in the audience, and nobody could see it, which was such a paradox. And I remember after that first performance, Whammo, a slam poet and talented musician, came up. He was like, oh my God, that pin in the eye thing was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. And my first concern was, well, could you see it? And he goes, no, but I believed it. And I realized that's what it is. That's all that matters. Is the trick is, yes, Brian is sticking a nail in one eye, popping it out the other eye, but it is the reactions of the people on stage who sell it, that is the performance art that is happening. Absent their reactions, there's nothing there. And of course, nowadays, modalities are different. You're able to do live video. For example, this over-the-shoulder live video that you're seeing, I don't think I had any gigs where I was able to do that before. Yeah, maybe once or twice, but it changed the game. Also, this is the first time that I met Owen JJ Stone, aka OhDoctah. He would go on to become our racial liaison for the BB Live show. And then on the left side, that's Daisy Ridley, who that was the first time I met her, and she did an interview later. I was poking around trying to find it during the stream. She later the next day titled an article, Brian Brushwood, the manliest man on the internet. And it was mostly about Revision 3, but I think it was just about all the dude bro energy that was rife and powerful. And I would like to point out, era appropriate at the time. Some parts have not aged well. I may have heard an R word that I wouldn't say on stage nowadays. Whoops. There's congratulations, people. It'll happen to you too. You live long enough. Language changes over time, and words that you say have different connotations at different times. At the time, though, that word was the right amount of spicy. It didn't have any of the mean connotations that it came to have. And that will be the end of my what appears to be a defense of language used in the past because I don't play defense. Let's see. Rugby may cry O'Neill. Brian should bring back the Jughead crown here. I would in a heartbeat if I was still punching up. Or 30 pounds lighter. Yeah, 20 pounds. I think I'm 20 pounds away. I still have the hair. Thank you, minoxidil. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, Princess Judith got it. Yeah, this is the credibility after the fact. Notice that the credibility comes after the quality of the materials stood on their own. So far, we've seen a bunch of bar tricks that are very good, that do stand completely on their own. And then we get to a place where it's like, no, by the way, here are the receipts. Brian's the real person. Let's see. Princess Judith says, iScam, was that when I tried to get Scam School book a #1 bestseller? That was a sequel to it. The original was to get Scam School on the charts of iTunes at the top. And this is the footage that I'm looking for, because in the middle of all of this, I stopped everything and essentially gave a PowerPoint demo where I pointed to the top of the iTunes charts. I said, isn't it great to be part of new media, to be part of a new generation where the populace gets to speak directly? The nerds have seized the means of production. And I said, let's look at the top 10. And it was all old media. It was NPR. It was 60 Minutes. It was Oprah. And I was like, wouldn't it be great if one of our own did it? And I told everybody about the idea of all of us doing a targeted strike. Because at the time, while they kept the actual algorithm a secret, the iTunes algorithm appeared to move in 4-hour blocks. So if everybody hit subscribe at the same time, we had a chance to make a dent in the very top of the entire charts. And so at the time, Twitter was just born, and I knew that in this room were 500 people who were the most tech-savvy folks on the planet, and they all had Twitter. And so I literally... I started a Twitter account while I was in New York. I believe my first tweet was joining Twitter, period, and feeling dirty, period. I was not impressed with Twitter. I didn't understand the point of it at the time. But I did know that it was important to everyone else, so I wanted to see what was what. So when I called that shot and I said, what if we all blow up the Death Star by hitting subscribe at the same time? I said, if you want to play, pull out your phone right now, because I understood that words will evaporate. What mattered was right then, when everybody agreed this was a good idea, to capture that action. So I told everybody to follow me at Schwood. I think I got like 300 followers instantly at once. At the time, I was like, I don't know if this idea is going to work or not, but got him. I got those Twitter followers. And later on, it would be 2 days later, because this is on June 4th, 2008. So it'd be 2 days later. It was 6/6 at 6 p.m. June 6th at 6 p.m. Then I was comfortably back in Austin, Texas, banging the drum leading up to the moment of Operation iScam 1.0. And I would love to see if we can dig up the archival materials for how that went. I'm gonna have to see what we can find. Guys, I'm beginning to suspect that I don't want to use the word hoarder because I don't have a bunch of stuff, but I want to find it. I'm starting to become the internet's archaeologist. It belongs in a museum. It shouldn't be left to entropy. Don't let everything decay. Hold. So if anybody has any of the video, or if you know anybody who was at that show who might have video, put them on my radar. Hit me up, brian@schwood.com. Of course, you guys should also sign up on that email list. Algorithmically, the robots want to wedge us. They want to charge us tolls to talk to each other. The last fair shake is email. And even that's not so fair. You got algorithmic shaping there as well. So head on over to signup.scamstuff.com. Get on that email list. Drop me an email, brian@schwood.com. Let me know if you know anybody who is there that might have that footage, because now we could do a lot of enhancing on all that. Hello, Remy Lynn, 4264. Good to see you. Sabin. That's what it is. Yeah, I guess I thought it was Cloud. Yeah, no, I was wrong. Chrono Trigger, that's one. Dash the Stampede, I got a lot. That's right. Yeah, but they believe that's exactly what it was, BioCow. Isn't that wild? In this context, there is no disrespect. Thank you, Black Eyed Peas. You have forged the path for me. That's right. Princess Judith, if anybody wants to see me rocking the spikes nowadays, get the deluxe edition of Scam Sasquatch and the Supernatural. Here, let's head on over to scamstuff.com. That's gear for the modern rogue. Let's see. Sasquatch. Oh no. Oh, you can't get the Scam Sasquatch and the Supernatural. The only way to get the deluxe edition of Scam Sasquatch and the Supernatural is to get in the Roustabout Society at Ballyhoo. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to ballyhoo.scamstuff.com. And this is the puzzle box. It's beautiful. Inside, you're going to get a deluxe set of cards. You're going to get 4 matched U.S. quarters with eagle backs. And you're going to get a jumbo production quarter, and you're going to get an all-important thumb drive that includes both of the Scam School books, hundreds of tricks, and most importantly, your exclusive invitation inside the Big Top to join the Roustabout Society, where today, literally today, I'm going to upload 9.5 hours, 70-plus tricks spanning all of the Josie Chronicles. From the day she joined the show all the way up to the most recent ones that we shot together. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful, incredible box keepsake, a delightful piece of art from the incredible, inimitable Ryer Appledorn. Get yours right now. Get in the Roustabout Society so that you can see. You want the spikes? That's where the spikes are. Present tense spikes. That's all anybody ever wanted. I'm with you. Put the minoxidil all over your body. That's how Sasquatch came to be. Ooh, here we go. Rids_voodoo has a really good question. Man, it's really inspiring to watch you. How do you overcome anxiety and fear? The answer is, I don't. You saw the original Avengers. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry, right? That's my secret, Rids Voodoo. I'm always terrified. But the answer is you place yourself in a situation where there's nothing to do but go forward. And it will never be perfect. Here we are 20 years after this performance, and I can point to every disappointment, from the sound being blown out to me stumbling on a couple of my words, but it was good enough that it made an impression. It was in the right direction, aligned with the North Star where I was seeing everything going. It was enough that there was enough to move the needle just a little bit farther forward. And when you keep doing that, as long as you are what economists would call net positive, just sort of nudging in the right direction, you never have to be perfect. You always can be a little bit off, but as long as it's net in the right direction, it's just more energy. Think about it this way. When a casino goes to a bank for $1 billion loan, their business plan is just a single piece of paper that says, yeah, we win 51% of the time and we lose 49% of the time. And they're like, that's your business plan. They're like, yeah. Blackjack works like this. Craps works like that. And then, we have some suckers games like, roulette and slot machines. And they're like, but you don't win all the time. No. We only win 51% of the time. But one thing we promise is $1 billion of action. And that 1% house edge on $1 billion of action becomes, millions of dollars. And if it becomes tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of action, it becomes $1 billion. And then the bank suddenly says, yes, we will loan you the money, because in the long term, a tiny, tiny edge will always pay off. And if you hold that inside of you, as you put yourself in situation after situation outside of your comfort zone, you don't have to be always on the winning side. There are shows where people have thrown fruit at my stage. That is a real thing. That doesn't just happen in the cartoons. And there are lonely drives for 3 hours afterwards, trying to figure out, trapped alone in the car with your thoughts. AM radio doesn't even work because you're in the hills of West Virginia. I'm looking at you, Davis and Elkins College. What? But as you replay it, you think, why did that go poorly? Why did they expect something so different from what I had to offer? And then you have an epiphany. You realize, oh, you know what? They were all expecting the traditional magic show. And instead, I mocked them for wanting that. Now, they eventually could have been brought on board if they had been nudged so that their expectations were a little bit more in alignment with what I had to offer. And that was when I realized, pre-cell phones, you go to a movie theater, there's a 30-minute pre-show where they're doing word jumbles and puzzles and ads for Coca-Cola. That is a latent storytelling bandwidth that nobody thinks of as storytelling bandwidth. So I began to tour with a LCD projector and a 30-minute pre-show video that would end with a 1-minute intro video. The 30-minute pre-show video got people thinking about all the countercultural figures and magic. It had these spicy hot takes with skeptic vibes. And eventually, mixed in with there, you'd see Brian next to Jay Leno. You'd see this character, that character. So you knew that the guy that was about to come on stage wouldn't look like your traditional magician. And all of that priming ended up in some intangible, ineffable, qualitative way, priming everybody to have a more delightful experience. Because humans, we all love to be almost right. Not exactly right, because then things are predictable. We don't like to be wildly wrong because then we feel like suckers. But when Brian shows up, and he is kind of this alt-rock, grungy iteration on anti-magic, people are in on the joke and feel better. That epiphany, that core realization could only happen with the agony and the misery of doing a show that people actively did not like. It was as bad as it could possibly be. But on the other side of that was the lesson. So when you're facing anxiety, anxiety is an incongruency between your body knowing, feeling like something is wrong and you're trapped and your heart starts racing. but your body is confused because your heart racing. Does that mean we're about to get killed? Or does that mean that we're about to achieve something great? Your body wants to know congruency. So the first thing you do when you feel anxiety is move your body. If you can, run very, very fast. I don't mean pace around inside the house. I mean go outside, change your environment, because there's two different types of stress. And I don't know why I haven't seen this since I was in grade school, but when I was in grade school, they taught us that the two types of stress, there's distress, which means the anxiety associated with something terrible happening, but there's also eustress, which is the excitement. You're about to walk across the stage and get your diploma. Then the stories that we tell ourselves, the narratives that we allow ourselves to internalize have profound and powerful impacts on us. When we are feeling that stress, the stories that we tell matter. If we're telling ourselves our heart's beating fast because we're so pumped and jazzed for this, our opportunity to go out and just have an at-bat. No, you don't get to decide whether or not it's going to be a home run. You could certainly hope for it, but it is unambiguous that you are being given the gift of swinging for the fences and trying. And that is something to be grateful for. And all of that heart racing energy that normally you might feel trapped and pinned down on suddenly becomes validation that you're doing it, whatever it is. In that big job interview, that walk around close-up gig, getting over the hump of approaching people, when you have metrics that you can look at, maybe you did good at a bunch of your performances, maybe you did bad, but the thing you can measure and the thing that's unambiguous that you can always affect is how many times did you show up? How many at-bats did you make? That is the only number that matters, because if it's in you, it's going to come out. And maybe somebody else is better than you. Maybe they'll have success in 3 tries instead of your 10. It doesn't matter. As long as you know that on a long enough timeline, you're gonna amaze someone or see market improvements every time you iterate, then the answer to everything becomes dead simple. Go again. If it worked, then keep on going. Dylan Thea says, Indiana Schwood. You know what? I'd be all right with that. I'd be all right with this whole third act being Indiana Jones of the internet. It belongs in archive.org. Gilly Shoots says, just saw the video about putting cigarettes on your tongue. I thought I was the only special one who did that. Love your material. Have a good weekend. Thank you very much, Gilly Shoots. I appreciate it. Duke Nukem, man, that's in the neighborhood. I'll have to find it. I just need to look up. In fact, let me maybe chase that. I'm going to chase that beagle right now. Let's do it this way. I will a bloop, bazap. Give me a list of PC games that came out in the late 90s. We'll see. We'll see what the robos come up with. Do you guys know if it's possible to change the font of ChatGPT? Doom, Quake, Quake 2, Half-Life, Unreal Tournament, no, Blood, System Shock 2. Here, stop right now. It was definitely an FPS game I'm looking for. It wasn't as A quality tier as Doom or Quake or Half-Life. It would have come out after Half-Life 1, somewhere around the success level of Prey, I think. But it would have been somewhere between 1998 and 2000. And let's see if we can zero in on it. Sin. That was it. That's the one. Yes, it was Sin. give me images of the characters from Sin. Oh my God, this is great, guys. We're finding it. That's great. Let's see. Was there a character in Sin that had blonde hair spiked up? I think it was like a secondary, I think it was the guy in the van character, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Colonel John Blade. No, that's not it. That's not blonde spiky hair. Nope. That's not right. What was the character in Sin that was like the hacker guy? JC. That yes, Jeff Mazar. Yes. Oh my God. There it is. There it is. Hold on, let me get this actually on screen. Boop, boop, boo. How exciting. There it is. That is an itch from a long time back. Let's see. Yeah, there was a rendered version. Titties. Search the internet for photos of the rendered character JC Armac from Sin. I think we might be able to find the exact picture that I took into the hairstylist and I said, make my hair do that. Great. Where are they? You're not showing it. Sources. No. We're losing it. Losing the thread. No. So now I know what to search for. Sin game JC. So close. Yeah, there it is. A story destined to be forgotten in Gordon Freeman's wake. That was the one. That's the reason that was the photo that I brought in that inspired the haircut. But when people said Sonic Boom, that was easier, so we retconned it. But that was the look. How crazy. That's great. Fantastic work. Who gets the gold star? Jeff Mazar. That's great. Yeah. You barely see JC in the game. That's right. Well, this would have been at the time that the game hadn't even come out. Just promotional images were coming out. This also would have been like, I definitely would be peak enthusiasm for PC Gamer magazine during that time. Wow, what a satisfying unlock. Well done. Wait a minute. Oh no. Guys, I just realized. JC, John Christopher, J. Carmack, John Carmack. That's what they were riffing on. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, these are all crazy. All right, so where does that leave us in terms of, did we close the loop on everything? Because at this point, I do have, no, I did not know about that. Look, to be fair, Jeff Mazar, I didn't even remember it was JC. I didn't even remember the name of the game. I remembered the printout that I brought out. Oh, Flochinacci. Yeah, John Carmack is a living legend, creator of Doom, co-creator of Doom. How hard is the puzzle part of Ballyhoo? Because I tend to do bad with those. To be honest, I don't even want to pitch it as a puzzle box experience because think of it more as a clever, lockable box for your stuff. It's something that'll be fun to have other people. It will not be fun for you to figure out. It will be fun for you to hand it to other people and play Dungeon Master and guide them towards it. The actual, the locking mechanism, it requires some tolerances that have to get kind of massaged in. So it's not a big ARG the way the other puzzle boxes are. The value of Ballyhoo is everything inside on the digital side of things. Hey, thank you so much, John Wheels, 8865. Good to see you, man. Oh, everyone likes to ask, Che. So one of the things about that is that it exists in that superposition because if there's something clever I did with the Bizarre Magic Show was tickle the in-between spots of what was real and what was definitely fake. And I liked the idea that there are some parts of the show that were 100% real. I really am eating fire, really am doing the human blockhead. Straight Jacket is 100% real. And there are other parts that are 100% fake, not really reading minds. And then there's material somewhere in the in-between. And that to me is part of the beauty of the nail in the eye trick. So, but invariably, I knew that people would ask after the show. So I learned very early on to give them the answer in such a way that would require them to self-select and essentially become a magician. So I would say that is, out of everything in the show, the thing that people ask about the most. Let me tell you where to find the answer. You're going to go find a book called The Autobiography of Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin, written in the mid-1800s, 1848, I think it is. And in there is that exact passage that I read. The very next passage says, I cannot imagine why somebody would want to do this trick, but if you want to know, here's how it's done. That's where the answer is. And everybody found that satisfactory. They felt let in on the inside. Meanwhile, I left them also with the superposition of it being two different things possible at the same time. And they had the ambiguity resolution in their palm if they wanted it, but almost nobody did except for one person. One person sent me an email with a photo of a library book. He actually went to the library, found the book, found the passage, found the answer. Chef's kiss. It was awesome. I was like, congrats, you earned it. We have a word for people who do the kind of thing you do. It's called being a magician. All right, where are we at? I think we might be just about wrapped up, huh? Yeah, there will be a walkthrough for releasing for the box through. There'll be a walkthrough of it. There'll also be a glamorous trailer that we're working on. That is currently being handled by an extremely talented photographer up in New York. Thank you to everybody who jumped in the pre-glamorous phase of Ballyhoo. We were able to figure out the manufacturing pipeline. This is the first true stem to stern, total original. Well, I guess Vox Tempest was. So, but in this case, it's one that we want to have be an archival totem. It's really, really delightful. Yeah, that's correct. That's 100% right. Hopefully not Scary Steve. I expressed everything correctly as best you understand. Wago. Yes, I traded my eyes. Did you see Death Note? I still haven't finished Death Note, but that's a theme of it. Oh, here we go. More effing cowbell coming in. Bring in the heat. Buckle up. Here comes other characters from games with blonde, spiky hair. Cloud. I was right about Cloud. Sora, Kingdom Hearts. That's good. Guile, Street Fighter 2. Yep. Link. Yep. That one I would have perceived as too popular. Zeke, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That's right. That was a good one. I forgot all about that. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to call that a wrap on Scam School. But today being Saturday, if you have the time, I do need to do some rearranging and fixing up of all these buttons. So if we want to declare that the Brian is trying to entertain you part of the program is over, then you guys, I'll stay live and you can stick around as I do a bit of remapping on all this stuff. Because a thing, here we go. Let's do this. Looky over here. Look at that right there. I'm finding another place for that smaller camera. And this could end up being a really good spot for me to wheel over and demo some stuff. Well, here, actually, let me go ahead and add an input. We'll do this right now. I'll go to camera. We'll go to... Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not there at all. The thing I want. Yeah, thank you, co-host. How on earth is this guy plugged in, but not showing up as a webcam? There, that's unplugged. Let's see if it... Where you at, co-host? No. It's not recognizing anything. Or is it? Oh, I know what I need to do. Here, I'm going to open up OBS Bot Center. Yeah. Okay, well, there's one of the devices. There's another of the devices. There we go. Okay. So if it's seeing it there, then it should be able to find it elsewhere. Okay, look, it's moving. Hey, Ma, look. I have a soul. I'm a robot. Oh, dear. Everything's hanging up now. Whoops. Whoops. What? Okay, so it is having trouble. Yeah, close this program. Try again. Let's do OBS Bot Center again. See? Che, congratulations. You are a magician. Because as the Society of Magicians, Society of American Magicians, and the International Brotherhood of Magicians agreed that the difference between teaching and exposure is, does the student have to take any particular action to show that they want to become sugar instead of tasting sugar? And you did it. Congrats. Okay, let's try this again. So I think we have a bad cable here, is what's going on. Because this is kind of erratically... And I bet I know what bad cable is. Oh, no, it's a different bad cable. That's a good bad cable. Oh. All right. All right. I'm gonna take a flyer on this one. We'll see if we get lucky. I don't know that this is gonna work. All right. All right, so the game we're playing is, does this obnoxiously long cable actually work? Because originally I got it to reach for super long distance on the Tail 2 cameras, but it couldn't pull a charge. But I'm hoping it can get data across, because if it can, then all of a sudden this becomes super useful. So we'll find out. Yep. Oh, that's very good. This could be very, very good, beautiful people. More effing cowbell. We're listening to Synth Mage on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/@synthmageyt, you'll see this. We were there when he had dozens of subscribers, and we were one of the early adopters, so we're cheering for his or hers success. But it's a good, I like it specifically because I don't get content ID'd, but at any point they could decide that they don't like us having it on in the background, which would bum me out, but that would be their right. Okay, so now, question. Does it work? Can I add an input? Oh, you know what? First, let me save my progress right here. I'm going to save as 260207. Tinkering. There we go. And so now I'm going to add input. In fact, I'll let you guys watch what I'm doing. So we're going to add, hey, there it is, Tiny 2. Oh, tasty. Behold, Tiny 2. Can it move? Yes. Yes! Look around, my newest creation. Behold, a wonderful world awaits you. You're among family now. Soon, you and your robot camera brothers will be the eyes for the entire world. Get comfortable. I've overwhelmed you with a lot. All right. So let me try setting this up. Boy, this would be great. Look at this reach. Hold on. Yep. Dink, 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 dink. Yeah. All kinds of. I'll get to mucking around with all that. No. No, no, no. All right. So now, let's see if... Ooh la la. Oh, this is cool. This is great. This is fine placement right here. I can set this guy right here. Oh. Well, that works out great. And so then now we can do magic together. Yeah. So then all I have to do is I can put some rubber feet on this guy to lock it down. And now we have a proper space to learn magic. Yeah, unfortunately. Annalisa, do you know? I don't know if Annalisa is even watching. But if she is, I would love to know if we have those rubber feet around. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Ah. That's fun. Yes. No. We'll work on all kinds of silly stuff. Cool. That'd be great. Oh no, I lost the... Hold on, let me switch this back. So then now this shot can become actually... Yeah, that puts this guy on the menu so I can just switch layers. We can do instead of... Yeah. Well, that opens up a lot. And I don't hate the way this looks in terms of that setup. I mean, outside of everything looks like hot garbage, but this can be a fixture here. And then whenever we need to look at something, I'm able to still be on mic over here. And then this stays within reach here. So that all works. Now I just got to nice everything up. And for now, I'll tell you what. because as we get through more of the original Scam School episodes, we're going to want to be able to... Oh, that's great. So that also lets me set up a tableau, a permanent tableau over here, because there's oftentimes when I'm on calls with, I don't know, Zoom calls, it's a delightfully disarming thing to say, hey, you want to learn a magic trick? Turns out people have a hard time saying no to that. Boy, look at that gut. I got up and I ran 2 miles this morning, 5:30 in the morning. Still got 5 pounds to drop, though. There we go. All right, well, I'll tidy that up other times. The tape in the books as a camera stand is a aesthetic. Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to wear pants on stream now. Banana hammock at best. Thank you, Tweetpex. Okay, so then the next thing that means, if we like these shots, then what that means is I'm going to have to do kind of the tedious remapping. So apologies that nothing interesting is going to happen, but sine wave. Hey, sine wave, when are you going to bring back your VR show? Answer the real questions, Sine. There we go. Yeah, that shot's better. We're zeroing in on it, people. It only took a year and a half to almost get everything back to where, if you do it right, everything should feel like a mech suit, where everything has its exact place. It's all an extension. Proprioception is what it's called. The mapping of your body onto an entity larger than itself. You need to read Annie M. Paul's book, The Extended Mind. And you learn that, hippie talk him coming, your brain is not simply this gray matter. Your brain, when you're effective, it's kinesthetic, it's also audio, and. You know what? You're right. You're right, BioCow. You guys have been watching over the last year and a half as I've had a vague intuition that ultimately, you know, humans just want to connect with other humans. And essentially, all of the building of the studio are really just a really good pair of glasses to invite you into this room with as high fidelity of presence as we could possibly manage. One of my favorite things is when people come here and they just have this sense of place, like they know this spot. And to that extent, I'm working on building out this bookshelf. There's a whole bunch of books from home. I love bookshelves because they're like peeking in other people's minds. And what I need to do is kind of curate. Right now, these are just whatever books I have laying around. But I'd like this to be the kind of thing where as I cite things, I might even have to, we could do a fundraiser. People ask all the time for me to make a list of books to recommend for them. That might be a neat project because to me, it just feels like a tedious job to sit down and write what I like about each of these books. I wonder if that could be a series that where basically I buy hardcovers of all of these books. And so they go on the shelf and I'm able to tell you what's good about each one of those. That'd be neat. You know what? Now's a pretty good time for me to remind you guys that you guys should go to patreon.com/modernrogue and fund all of this. I've been a little bit shy about asking for money because it hasn't been entirely clear to me exactly precisely what I'm offering. And as we get closer to that, my enthusiasm becomes directly tethered to the support from you guys. So if you can, I think at $30 you get your name in the credits. We're working on a zine. I already got comps for the front page of the zine. Only patrons are gonna get the Modern Rogue zine that Ryer and I are working on. But head on over to patreon.com/modernrogue and support this crazy endeavor. Let's keep Modern Rogue HQ a real living place in everybody's mind. And did we ever decide on a particular Discord hangout that we like? I'm entirely going to delegate that job to you guys because it'll be lucky if I'm able to find the time to even make it in. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, sine wave. Damn yeah. Damn yeah. Hot yeah. Hot yeah. Only patrons. Y'all need to get on my only y'alls. We see that's just it. Is I don't like getting rid of anything. I just want to know where's the party at. That's what we got to figure out. Where's the party at? Everyone says, and again, look, we're evolving. The meta changed, and so are we. It is frustrating though when all the rules change, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, so things I could definitely do right now while we're live on screen. I could go ahead and start remapping these buttons, which will be tedious, but I think will be worth it. And then we can start setting up stingers. That's something that I've wanted to do that I haven't done. So let's open up Stream Deck. And I think I made a fork. There we go. Icarus Bots Cam Swap Fork. So for this one, oh, hello. Hey, look at what I get to do. Watch this. Yeah, okay. Takes a little bit for my brain to get the uptick on things. So this one can become, instead of Fake Tom, we'll make this tiny guy. Zip. Now you guys can see the whole picture. Look at this. Behold, Brian's. You know what? If you guys watch all of this, you'll have a fine tutorial so that you can just swoop in and drive this ship. You won't be like silly old Andor getting in a ship he doesn't know how to drive. Classic Andor. What's he thinking? Flying a prototype around, doesn't know how to fly it. And then here, two. We'll let you guys peek in on this. Pow, pow. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're doing. So the goal is, so this is a hard fork of a previous thing, which means these are all unmapped. These are all unmapped vMix shortcuts that I'm going to have to duplicate again. And it's going to be a pain in the butt, but I know what goes where. Luckily, the controls for bot 1, bot 2, bot 3, bot 4. So bot 1, there you go. Bot 1 has controls, it's connected. Bot 2 has controls, is connected. Bot 3 is powered off. I'll go power it on. We can add it to the mix. All right. So it'll take a little bit to show up there. And then meanwhile, bot 4 also has controls right there. And so all we're missing on these guys is the corresponding vmix takes. So, as tedious as it is, now what I have to do is I have to go to settings, shortcuts. Let's see. Okay, so gonna hold off on that one. This one definitely I want to take. In fact, here, let me make it even more visible to you. Behold. It's almost readable. Hey, where's the focus? There we go. Hopefully you're able to see that. I don't know. So we'll start by cloning this one, and then we're going to remap it to... So this is number 2 take, find. Ooh, look at that. That's 1. And then let's go inside and we're going to duplicate it again. Clone it again. Find this one. Same game. Got him. Hey, that's 2. Oh, look, it's not as hard once you start. I love it. Let's see. 4. Oh, this is where I'm farting it up. Oh no. I see what a house of cards I've created. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine-ish. So this one, these are the controls for this guy, right? Okay, so then that just becomes 4. All right, so what I want is bot 4 quirk clone. Although now the name is wrong. So this one becomes ITD dough. Cockpit. And so now if I go to settings, if I go to shortcuts, ooh, it does change it. Wonderful. So that means I can clone it. And if it can be cloned, it can be edited. Soon I will have complete control. Right. So now what I must do is find a new button. This one. Go. Did it work? It looks like it did. Hells yes. Which means if that worked, then I can clone it again. And in here, do the same thing. Find this guy. Okay. Map. Excellent. Oh, and then I should clone it again. Find. Again. Great. Okay. So now, that's me. This should be that. And it is. This other one should be that. And it is. And then I have to use mouse again, which is less fun. Good. Okay. All right. That's another one down. So now this guy, Bot 7 Turbo's not there. So now what I have to do is go back again to shortcuts. And this is Tail 2, clone, duplicate, find. This one. And now it's there. That's 2 cameras down. Now. This one, I'm going to do 3 media. So this one, I'm going to intentionally leave mapped wrong in this setup. And instead, this will just be the media button. So I'm going to clone media. I'm going to change it to this. And then I'll leave these unmapped as a reminder. Yeah, that one is controlling that over there. Aha. And it's recording, but I could tell it to stop. So now I'm saving. I don't know what I'm saving. Probably should have just left it recording. So then that'll be fine. And then 4 will be this guy, ObsBot Tiny 2 stream camera. So if it's going to be ObsBot Tiny 2 stream camera, first of all, I should change the name. No, I shouldn't. Not yet. So if I took, let's say I cloned this one, but then I messed with it. What if I did, let's see, find this button, but then I switched it from input 3 media to ObsBot Tiny 2 stream camera. Now that's way down at the wrong layer, but that at least gets us to there we go. So then all I have to do is go to settings, shortcut, find this guy. Okay, got it. And then clone him. Soon my clones will be mapped to all of the Stream Deck buttons, and then my configuration will be complete. Find this. Good. Clone it again. Find. Whoops. Turbo. Turbo makes it sound more awesome. There we go. Excellent. Oh no. I forgot about that part. No, that's fine, I guess. It's pretty much fine. Yeah. In fact, actually, that's pretty dope now that I think about it. It was what I meant all along. So let's do this. We'll put a vmix shortcut here. Let's change the name on this one. We'll do remarkable. And this one will be Robo Thoughts. And they will map two things. Good. So what I want, let's go to the familiar one. We'll take remarkable. So now I just got to open up shortcuts again. Shortcuts, find the remarkable button. It's going to do what it does. What? Find. This one? No, it's got to be on there somewhere. Why would it not be? What? Oh, it's unmapped because of the hard fork. Shit. Which means I need to... What would be the easiest way to find this one? Layer change? Is that what it is? I'd hate to say it, but the easiest way is going to be the long, silly way. Where's that Stream Deck? Stream Deck. Give me that app. All right, so we're going to leave Icarus Bots Cam Swap Fork, and we're just going to go to Icarus Bots. And in this iteration, I know that this is the button that does the thing. So if I hit find, that's the button that does the thing. And now it finds the actual command. So now I will clone it. It is the only cloned one. Except RoboThoughts also. Clone that one too. And I don't think I need Spicy Thing yet. Although I will need... Actually, yes, I will need a clone of Spicy Thing. Because they all must be remapped. And now... I will exit Icarus Bots and go to Icarus Bots Cam Swap Fork. And now, and now, I can assign remarkable Stream Deck button is now this button as well. And RoboThoughts is now also this button. Oh, oh, oh. And Spicy Thing is now also this button. That is 3 buttons that have meanings, which means now inside of... Yes, we are in Swap Fork. Excellent. Good. Now... in Cambot 2, I can find remarkable, clone it again. Maybe. Yes, I think so. And assign it to Telestrator. No, I should have RoboThoughts, and I should have both, shouldn't I? Shush me. Okay, so then what that means is I must go to Stream Deck and put another thing here. And this one shall be RoboThoughts. Again. I no longer know what I am looking at. So this is Stream Deck button up, remarkable, which means it's this. And actually, I should just rename it, now that I think of it. Not telestrator left. Good. And then this one. This one should be assigned, and it is. This one should not be assigned, and it isn't. Explain that. Clone them again. Robo-thoughts become new hard-forked robo-thoughts. The hardest of forks. Great. So these are all there. Spicy thing only exists on that one, but that one's tied to muscle memory, so not anything to be done about that. 2. Excellent. Question mark. What are these? Oh. So if I'm here, then oh, behold, bah, the buttons, they work. I didn't see that coming. Not gonna lie. Ah, but these do not. Excellent, which means clone the robo-thoughts. Excellent. Press the button. Attach the robo-thoughts. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What did I do? That wasn't supposed to be that way. Okay, now it works. Okay, good. Yeah. Clone the remarkable. Good. Find remarkable. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. So now there's that and there's that. Beautiful. Look at this, guys. Come on. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, yeah. Still have to fix all these. That's fine. That's neither here nor there. But now we've got, here's bot 1. And bot 2, turbo mode. Beep, bop, boop, bop, beep, beep, beep. Good. Now, I don't have any robo-thoughts on this particular thing, but if I did, it would look a little something. Whoa, like that. Oh, so it does work. Beautiful. So I'm going to swap these two. And I'm going to do reversed Luma. And this one now. Hey, you got it. Crop that. Crop that sexy man ass. Rarg. Excellent. Do. Oh, wait. That's all I need to do. Awesome. Excellent. What? Good. Close enough for Imperial work. Excellent. All right. I will never use these, but I am glad they are there. And I will now save. Save! Okay, so where does that get me? That gets me cam 1, complete control. Right where it needs to be. If I need to, I can turn on the follow. Cam 2. That gets me also full control. Great. And I can muck with these at a later date. Cam 3, you'll notice that the preview thing is media, but that is fine. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh. Oh, so this is unmapped. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. What am I thinking? Silly old me. Yep. Why not? Let's go all the way. Okay, so let's figure out what I did last time. Back to the other hard fork. Icarus bots. In Icarus bots. This is, whatever this is a thing. Whatever this thing is, as it things its way through being a thing. It's cool. It's neato. And it's what I need. Allow me to go to the shortcut menu. And now I've done it. I know who to clone again. I make a clone of this. And this. Behold! The puppening! The dogs approach! Oh! Oh, hold on. Wait for the slow zoom. Oh! Oh, joyful! You good girl. All right, guys. Dogs are here. I gotta go. I'll finish the rest later. Love you. Bye-bye. Saving this. Bye, gang.